From the Opelka Studios in Oklahoma City, you are watching the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Tramel. It's time for our weekly We Pick 'em segment. Barry, we got some games to get to. Let's get right to them. Let's start with this one. A Big 12 team headed to a Louisiana school. Baylor goes to Louisiana-Monroe. Who you got in this one?
Well, I've got Baylor, but there's no, who knows what will happen here. Louisiana-Monroe has become the story in college football in terms of teams this year. They go to Arkansas, pull the upset in overtime, go to Auburn, lose in overtime. If they win that game at Auburn, they're leading the SEC West. Now, it's going to be a tough game for Baylor, but it's tough for the mid-majors to week after week after week get up. A lot of pressure, especially when they play well, a lot of pressure to keep it up. I think Baylor wins a tight one, but it should be a fun game.
I agree. I think Baylor does win this one, but they've got to go to Louisiana-Monroe. That big upset and near upset of Auburn on the road, and now Louisiana-Monroe at home for the first time. You know their crowd's going to be fired up. It's going to be a bit of a potential pitfall for Baylor, but I do like the Fighting Art Briles to stay on the winning side of things. All right, let's get to this one, Barry. A former Big 12 team in an SEC game. Missouri goes to South Carolina. Who you got in this one?
Well, I'm going to take the team from Columbia. Is that okay? Can I do that? What a league they got here. They got 3 Tigers, 2 Columbias, and 2 James Franklins in that league, for crying out loud. I think the league's gotten a little bit too big. But no, I'm going to go with, I'm going to take South Carolina. I like Missouri. I don't like their new uniforms, but I like Missouri. Gary Pinkel's got himself a good program. Missouri needs James Franklin to get back in the saddle at quarterback. He missed that game against Arizona State. Mizzou won but struggled. But South Carolina, Steve Spurrier has a pretty good defense. Got some quarterback issues of his own in terms of health at quarterback, but I'm going to take the Gamecocks.
Missouri's first SEC game. I'm going with South Carolina on this one as well. South Carolina gets their quarterback back. You know, you just got to think at home. It's a huge stadium at South Carolina. Big time deal down there. Even years they've not been great, they've still packed that stadium, made it a tough place to play. I think Missouri, they're going to win games in the SEC, but I don't think they're going to win this one on Saturday. All right, Barry, what about this game? Michigan goes to Notre Dame. That's really traditional rivalry here. Who you got in this one?
This is my upset special. I'm taking the Wolverines. Denard Robinson's senior year, he has slain the Irish 2 years in a row with monster games. 2 years ago, ran and passed for over 200 yards each. Another monster game last year. Michigan's won 2 tight ones against Notre Dame in a row with Denard Robinson. Actually, he's beaten Notre Dame 3 times in a row overall. I think they do it again, even in South Bend.
Well, I'm going to go against you. I'm going to pick Notre Dame in this one. I didn't really believe in Notre Dame the first few weeks of the season. I thought they would win that game in Ireland, but I thought they would lose to Michigan State and lose pretty handily. I wasn't yet on the Notre Dame believer track. Now I think I'm there, Barry. You know, they beat Michigan State pretty handily. Do you like the new helmets, by the way?
At Notre Dame?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Yeah, they're a little bit sparkly for me.
Not one bit.
All right. What about this one? A top 25 matchup. This is going to be a good one. Clemson goes to Florida State. Who you got in this one, Barry?
I'm going to take the team that's that has the defensive coordinator who is dear and near to Bob Stoops' heart. That's what I'm going to go with. Frankly, that should be a good clue. I'm going to go with Mark Stoops. That's one thing. Bob Stoops has never demoted his brother. So he demoted Brent Venables, but what an interesting matchup. Brent Venables now at Clemson, Mark Stoops at Florida State. Lots of Bob Stoops ties in this game. I like Florida State because it's in Tallahassee. Put this game in Clemson. I'll take the team from Death Valley, but I'm going to go with the Seminoles. But this is in no way an endorsement that Florida State is back. I'm still not believing that. I'm going to have to see a lot more that Florida State is back in the saddle of the Bobby Bowden salad days.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I'm going to pick Florida State along with you on this one, Barry. But, Florida State, they've risen in the rankings, now top 5 team, a team that, could be in the mix for a national championship game if things keep going their way. But I don't know. I'm still not there either. E.J. Manuel is still quarterbacking the Seminoles. It feels like he's been there forever, Barry, which I think is good news for them, having that experience at quarterback. I think they beat Clemson, but I don't know if they're ready to contend for a national championship. We're going to have to wait and see. All right, Barry, the big game in state, the only game in state this week as OSU is off. Kansas State at OU. Who are you picking in this one?
I got the Sooners. I think it's a good matchup for OU. I just think, I love Colin Klein. What a story. What a great quarterback. Love Bill Snyder. That's well documented. But I just think OU historically and in recent years, last season included, has done well against this style of offense. Running quarterbacks don't bother the Sooners if they are the big, pounded out type of guys. Now, a guy that runs around and makes you play tag, that's different. But even going back to the title game against Tim Tebow, Sooner defense played well against that Florida team.
Yep.
So I like OU in this one.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, though. I think it's going to go into the fourth quarter, going to be really competitive, down to the wire sort of game, which if you're a Sooner fan, may not be what you want to see, maybe more of a nail biter than you're wanting to see. But I do think the difference becomes Kansas State's speed and OU's speed. I just think OU's got more speed, and when you talk about, getting guys into the Kansas State secondary, a guy like Kenny Stills or Trey McGuire or even Damian Williams, I just think they're faster than K-State, and I think that will come into play on Saturday. I think OU wins a really, really fun game. Be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.